Betsy, Stephen, congratulations on your new business.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're excited, very excited.
Betsy, we met a number of years ago, so it's been really fun to stay in touch. And then when you guys are ready to resume our conversations, and here we are. Your ink is fresh on your new business, and for the benefit of folks who were in your shoes a year ago, appreciate you letting me ask you some questions about your franchise exploration journe.
Sure, absolutely.
Please share about your business that you've chosen.
We've chose a digital marketing firm to go with, and so that was something that we didn't even think that we were going to be interested in when we first started our journey. That was really kind of the farthest from where we started, and pretty amazing. The journey to get to that point and to end up where we're at has certainly been pretty remarkable. So, and we had somebody very experienced and very helpful guiding us along the way. So we've been so appreciative of the journey and your help. So
that's wonderful. Well, and what a time to get into a digital marketing business when AI and all of that is on every headline, and it's important.
That's right.
It's a new world, and you get to learn it yourself and help others navigate it to their benefit. That's exciting.
That's right. It's definitely business that's going to carry us into the future and beyond.
So we looked at a lot of businesses over a number of months. I think we looked at the whole span. We looked at brick and mortar businesses, home-based businesses, residential services. We even briefly talked about, things like entertainment and a bakery business for a little bit. We looked at business services. I think we covered the spectrum of the sorts of businesses that people can look at. And will you share a little bit about what did that help you do, or what did that mean for you? How did it aid you in your ultimate decision process? Or maybe what did you learn about yourselves by virtue of looking at all these different business ideas that we did?
You mentioned bakeries. So first we started looking at things that we thought we would be interested in from a passion perspective or a hobby perspective. And then we looked at other things that we felt like we had skill sets in already that we could carry forward. And then we looked at our goals, both for the near term, day to day, for running a business, and then long term, where we saw ourselves kind of in the 5 to 10 year range. And the journey really was weaving in and out of those things and prioritizing what is the most important to us in selecting a business. So it did take us on a nonlinear path through different types of businesses. And, we really had to take a look at, is this going to work for us? This sounds great, but is this going to work for us? And a big part of that is diving deep in with the due diligence and talking to franchisees to understand, where are their highs, where are their lows, and how does that sit with us? So that was almost a gut check every time we got down the path there to understand if that was a challenge that we were okay with going forward with, or no, that really doesn't align with our interests, values, or things like that.
That's a great point, Betsy. Every business is going to have a challenge, right? And so part of the selection process is understanding what are the challenge points of this business, and is that a challenge that we want to take on, that we feel good that it's not something that we're going to lose sleep over, or not. So it's like you get to decide what you do and don't want to do through this.
Yeah, I think that was the critical component, is just having those conversations with the franchisees that are already operating their businesses, and just really getting their their input in regards to how that's gone for them and how that process has gone for them. I think that was a critical component of that due diligence process. That was huge.
They tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, don't
I
they?
sure did.
And you want to hear that. You want to understand what are the challenge points, and people struggle with different things. Different people have different challenges, and that's the beauty. There's no crystal ball in this, but it's the closest thing to understanding on a day-to-day basis what are the wins and what are the challenges that people will face differently within the same business. So
Definitely.
That's right.
now, there were points in our journey and looking at a lot of different businesses that you each favored something different. And that, for quite a while, we were, kind of looking at some different options, and it felt, and there was a day that it seemed like it came out and we admitted that, Stephen, you liked one, Betsy, you liked another. So, and that's true. That's common with a lot of couples. So how did you guys kind of talk through that or work through that together as a couple? If I can get a little personal with you about that.
Sure. Well, I think in general, I was looking at what I thought Stephen's skill sets were and where we could be profitable, um, going off of the things that he already knew. So reducing the learning curve and the ramp to profitability, that, had me very excited about a particular business. And then on the other hand, you weren't as excited about that because that was more aligned with what you just came out of.
From a concept standpoint, I think there were very interesting other businesses that we could get involved in, and I think that sort of touched on a couple of different things that we were both very interested in too. But like I go back to like even when we first filled out the questionnaire that you gave us, and how I answered those questions. And then looking back at it, like how I would answer those questions differently now, after having gone through the process, because Betsy's right. There was some familiarity there, operationally, scheduling laws, whatever it might be, that really fell in line with what I had done in the past. But at the same time, there's sort of this kind of yearning to maybe get into something different. And at the same time, too, what was it? It was the franchise evaluation uh, uh, spreadsheet that you had sent us.
Yes, the
Yes, the
comparison
boat.
tool.
That's right.
Yes. Mhm.
That was kind of it. I think that sort of was a very telling kind of way of quantifying the businesses that we were looking at. That at the time I was kind of more one, and Betsy was kind of another. I think that really both really.
Well, and I would say too that it also allowed us to say we're sort of at an impasse here where you don't want to do this, but I am looking for a certain performance over time. So let's go back to Leslie and find out where do we go now? Because maybe neither one of these are fitting the needs of both of us. So then you would come back to the table with yet another opportunity.
And that's very common, that there's negotiation points between couples on things, but also, Betsy, you used the word nonlinear, and that's a very good one. When people begin a journey like this, they may not know what they want yet in this. They have some ideas, but it just takes looking at some very different opportunities to start to crystallize the priority list. What are the must-haves versus the nice-to-haves and all of this. And oftentimes people end up choosing something that is very different than what they thought that they were going to choose. You guys, I'm sure, never in a million years thought that you were going to be in the digital marketing business when we started this journey. Yet here we are, and it's something new. And it does leverage some skills that you have, but not exactly like where you were coming from, Stephen. So it's an opportunity for you both to learn some new things. in the
Yeah,
future.
that's a great point. I mean, that really is a great point. And in those terms, I mean, that's it. Yeah, I've got skills that I can leverage for sure, but then there's also a part of it where, I'm very much looking forward to mastering a new set of skills and learning something completely different and getting into something completely different, which sounds sort of scary, but certainly very beneficial in terms of, just the direction that we're going and how that aligns with our family, and just everything else that we want to accomplish moving forward. So,
And that, if I may ask you to say a little bit more about that, because that, when we're talking about priorities, your family, the lifestyle, the schedule that you would be able to have with the business, am I right that really started to percolate up as a major choosing factor?
with certainly, without a doubt, I think that was one thing that sort of just kept kind of resonating with us in terms of what best fit our family, and just our scheduling and our day to day. And yeah, I mean, we're starting a business. We understand the commitment and, just the time and resources that need to go into that sort of thing. But at the same time, from a standpoint of why I got out of my old life and now we're entering the next chapter and just providing additional freedom for us, our family, to spend more time. And in that area is fantastic. I think we've really found sort of this awesome blend of both, balance between work and our personal life. So
And that sure makes all the difference in the world when you are the master of your own calendar. So I'm thrilled for you the water's great. Come on in and swim. And you are. So,
ready to jump in.
and what I love about the business that you chose, you're in a business to business marketing business. So you're going to have a lot of different customers and a lot of different kinds of businesses. So your opportunity to learn about all kinds of different businesses is going to be really interesting and exciting for you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Really, really sort of delving into that and just some of the onboarding process that we've already started with is just recognizing that, it's across all kinds of different industries, small businesses, large businesses, so, businesses of all sizes. And you're right. I've got a little bit of a background in sort of different things, different areas. And so I'm already looking at that in terms of trying to take advantage of different verticals, understanding the language, the lingo, if you will, that, comes with being able to talk to other business owners as well. So yeah, eye-opening really is really exciting, in terms of what our reach is and who we can help serve in our community and beyond. So that's pretty exciting.